The reason I think it would be really helpful to talk about the briefing process is that so many of them are terrible. And I don't know if any other writer finds this, that a lot of the time a brief will come to you and you will still have questions. That is why one of the things that I do in one of our processes at Olym is to make sure that you co-create the briefing question with your client. Now, the brief obviously is for a single piece of work, and that can answer important questions like what's the word count, and what messages do we need to convey, and what kind of focus areas do we want to make sure that we're honing in on. But actually, briefing runs much deeper than that, and if you use it for good, briefing is one of those things that can make a massive difference to all the other pieces of copy that you write in half the time. So what I tend to do in my process is, and I'm sure that there are a whole bunch of writers out there rolling their eyes going, yes, Eloise, we know. But for those of us who don't, or for those of us to whom this was a revelation, focus group of one, I hope this is helpful. So the briefing process that I run with my clients is actually what I would call a scoping session. And what I do is take an hour and a half, sometimes even 2 hours, and we sit down and just interrogate every aspect of the business. What are the hopes, the fears, the dreams, the worries, the concerns? What are the things that make you different and unique? What's the backstory of what you're offering? How do you want people to feel when they interact with you? All of these things are so vitally important when it comes to not just being able to write a decent piece of copy, but a copy that's going to resonate with the right market in integrity with your brand for the business itself. So the next time that it comes to the creation of a briefing document, if you're starting from scratch with a new client, obviously you'll be doing your research, but take the time to ask them some of those really tricky questions, some of those really deep existential questions. And then, and this is the real kicker, is pass back what you have heard them say to you, to them. And once we unpick the grammar of that sentence, what I want you to do is think about saying, okay, so you've just told me all about X, Y, and Z. Is that true? Is that correct? Does that make sense for where you are as a business now? Or is that a hangover from the business that you used to be 2 or 3 years ago? Taking that understanding not only demonstrates that you're listening actively and builds empathy and rapport with your client, but it also helps them to understand for themselves how their business comes across in their language. So let me know, comments down below, you know the drill. I really want to know how it is that your process works. What do you do? What's been helpful? What's not helpful? Please let's get the conversation started. I cannot wait to hear from you and to hear what your thoughts are.